Breathe that fresh mountain air. Up in Saranac Lake, a village with an interesting story, not to be confused with the town of Saranac to its northeast, but rather the village. In the very beginning, there was nothing except the huge glacier. But after that melted, the Saranac Lake area was utilized by the Mohawk people of the Haudenosaunee for hundreds of years. Hence, the word Saranac is Iroquoian, most likely meaning entrance of a river into a lake. And after the American Revolution, the area didn't see much activity from colonists, probably because the terrain was so challenging. But eventually they started coming, and the first permanent European settler was farmer and guide Jacob Smith Moody in 1819. He was soon joined by Captain Pliny Miller, and the Saranac River was dammed, which created Lake Flower, and the area grew. Hotels started to pop up, like Martin's in 1849, and there was another one by Apollo's Austin Smith, also known as Paul, in 1859. Its success would lead to the founding of Paul Smith's College, where you can apply today. The area's evolution was shaped by farming, lumbering, and hunting, which the latter played a major role. And a significant moment happened in 1876 with the arrival of Dr. Edward Livingston Trudeau from New York City. He came up to treat his tuberculosis, which at the time the deadly lung disease had no effective treatment. After doing some hunting, he found out that the fresh mountain air did wonders for his sickness. So later in the mid-1880s, he founded the Adirondack Cottage Sanitarium, the first successful tuberculosis hospital in North America. And soon hundreds of private cure cottages were built, mainly operated by women, and providing housing for tuberculosis patients so they could heal. It quickly established Saranac Lake as America's pioneer health resort. And with all this activity, it wasn't long before the village was incorporated in 1892. By that point, they had a telephone service, a library, and would soon see progressive infrastructure developments, including things like electricity and the founding of the Adirondack National Bank. It was also the beginning of a winter carnival featuring parades and an ice palace, a tradition that's continued just about every year since. In fact, the village has a long tradition of embracing winter sports, like barrel jumping or bobsledding. And of course, there's always the local ski area of Mount Pisgah. In 1902, the first automobile arrived, and it wouldn't be long before the first plane did. It was really growing during the early 20th century, especially when the Union Depot was established in 1904, the largest train station north of Utica. With the growth of Saranac Lake, many wealthy families, such as the Rockefellers and Guggenheims, established elaborate summer camps. So the influx of wealthy people, tuberculosis patients and doctors, and more transformed the village into a bustling center, attracting a range of famous personalities such as Mark Twain, Albert Einstein, and presidents like Theodore Roosevelt and Calvin Coolidge. In the 1920s, with multiple fires damaging the downtown area, the village underwent a sort of reconstruction, with buildings like Hotel Saranac put up that are still going strong today. There was an influx of patients during the World Wars, but following that, with the advent of antibiotics, there wasn't a need for these mountain sanitariums anymore, so these establishments shifted to different purposes. The legacy of Dr. Trudeau continues, however, with the establishment of the Trudeau Institute in 1964. Then came the rise of tourism, cabin colonies, restaurants, and the continued growth of educational institutions like Paul Smith's College and the Fresh North Country Community College. Today, Saranac Lake remains a picturesque destination through the efforts of organizations like the Village Improvement Society, but also through its natural beauty. And as the largest community in all of the ADK, it's earned the moniker, the capital of the Adirondacks. So I encourage all of you to get up there sometime and breathe that fresh mountain air. Have a good one.